What up, gangstas? Alright, so today I wanted to talk about not forcing shit, right? Um, Not going against our instincts and our nature. Um, we go against nature in such a crazy fucking way, where like we get an instinct, right? And that's like immediate. It's like a warning or, your gut trying to tell you something. And then immediately after, the ego takes over and starts trying to instill fear and doubt and all these other negative things, right? Well, Napoleon Bonaparte, he was pretty fucking dope in the sense that, like, I mean, he was one of the best war leaders ever, right? And he never like went outside. He didn't try to plan so far ahead that his plans were not changeable, right? Like, he would see his current circumstances, all that he had to work with, and he worked within those, to make sure that he was successful, right? He set reasonable goals. He was fucking awesome in war theory. Like, basically there was this one time where he had sent out like several groups to go scouting, to go make sure that the enemy wasn't nearby, right? And after they left, guess who showed up but the enemy? And the enemy was like, well, I see you are weak now. And so they ambushed, right? And then when they ambushed, Napoleon, his first instinct was, don't get scared. Like, don't allow fear and panic to set in. Because when fear and panic sets in, then you start making rash decisions, right? And so he told everybody, he's like, we gotta hold the line. We cannot stray. No flanking. No trying to leave. We're holding this fucking line. And they're like, why? And he's like, because the search parties are coming back, right? the scouting parties are coming back. And then they're like, oh, okay. And all they had to do was hold their shit together and just wait, right? And so while they're getting ambushed, they're taking out enemies. And the enemy is at least 3 times stronger than what they are, without the rest of their men. And so they're like, fuck, and they're holding it up. And he's like, they're almost here. I can feel it. I know they're coming. They'll be here soon, And then when they showed up, right, then they had the enemy fucking surrounded on all sides, right? And then Napoleon and his group right in the fucking center of it, right? And so they're just like, boom. And I mean, it was a beautiful, like, success for Napoleon, right? And it's like, had he have let his ego take over and started panicking and going into, oh no, what are we gonna do, kind of mode, then they never would have been successful in that battle. But because he did that, because he had some forethought to be like, wait, some foresight or whatever, to be like, wait, hold up, maybe let's not make a rash decision to go and ambush right now, I took notes, hold on. But yeah, then basically he was able to protect his men, protect the war, to whatever, his side of the war, I guess. But, we have this tendency as common, humans to be like, well, here's some adversity. Let's panic now. Let's go into victim mode. Let's, and rather than seeing all of your circumstances and starting to plan for the best case scenario, we do this thing where we listen to our brain as it tells us the worst case scenario, and you're like, oh no, we've got to plan for that. What if we fail? Well, when you plan for failure, then you set an intention, right? And then when that intention is set on the universe, it's like, oh, look, they, the energy of failure is within them. They're planning for it. They've set up, whatever, just in case they failed. So, then failure becomes inevitable. Then there are some fucking crazy people who are, geniuses, because they don't allow themselves to fail, right? They don't prepare for failure. Some people who are like, I want to buy a house. So you know what they do first? They buy a housewarming gift. They set an intention and they let the universe know, right now, this is the focus. This is what we're working on. And then they go from there, right? But you know, if you let fear and doubt get in the way, then you're going to start thinking, oh, well, what about this bill? And what about that bill? And what about this? And what about that? And then you stop allowing nature to kind of flow, right? Then you start micromanaging the universe, because then you're telling the universe with your words, I want, I want, I want, but then you're preparing for failure and you're not telling the universe what you need. You know, you're not like preparing for that. You know, it's a whole fucking thing. And so basically all this ranting, all this rambling is to tell you, like, don't be afraid to listen to your instincts, right? Listen to your instincts the first time, and then when your ego starts acting up, it starts trying to, you know, do its thing, shut that shit down. Be like, no, we're succeeding. We're doing this thing. We're doing that. I remember one time having a conversation with my ego, and I was like, I just, like, anytime, like, anxiety would start creeping in, I'd be like, stop trying to protect us, you know, because that's what the ego is doing, right? It's trying to use these old evolutionary adaptations to protect us. And it's like, we're not being chased by a bear right now. We're okay. Like, there's no reason to go and be acting all crazy and like having anxiety and being reactive. Like, you want to be responsive, but you don't want to be reactive. You know, you don't want to go with that you know, mode where you set in a panic, and then, you know, this is like all leading to really bad mental illness later, right? And we all know that. We've all dealt with it. The thought spirals, the heart racing, the whole fucking thing. Just when you feel that, come on, tell your body, like, now it's my turn as the soul, as the brain, as the one fucking operating this thing, piloting, as that. It is my job to protect us. It is not the ego's job anymore. The ego is the animal side of a human, right? And the spirit has more sense because it sees outcomes. It can perceive outside of itself, right? Outside of the physical self. So it's better to listen to that. You know, even Hitler did that until, you know, he ended up getting cornered. But, you know, listening to your instincts, and honestly, it could have been, you know, when he started getting into meth, when he stopped listening to his instincts and shit started going awry for him. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that, like, if you want to manifest better outcomes, you need to prepare for better outcomes. And you can't weigh all of your success in, oh, I just have to have this person, or it has to, you know, be at this certain time, or whatever. Because here's the deal. You can't boss God around, for one. For two, like, you know, the universe doesn't want to sit here and hear, I want. You know? It's not going to listen to that. Your prayers will fall on deaf ears because there's no fucking sincerity. Because you're not grateful for what you already fucking have. You're not grateful for the opportunities you have. And you're not asking the right fucking questions, right? If you want to ask the right question, you ask God, like, to give you what is divinely yours, right? Once you ask for that, then shit starts flowing in, and you have no expectations about a specific outcome, you know? Because it's like, your soul might know a better outcome, but it can't lead you there unless you start asking the right fucking questions, you know? Because if you're trying to infringe on another person's will, or you're trying to make something work that doesn't, then you're resisting nature, you're resisting destiny, and you're blocking your own blessings. And it's just that. You're blocking your own fucking blessings. Just live and enjoy it, you know? It's, I don't know. It doesn't have to be so fucking black and white. And also, let the universe guide you a little bit. Let me just throw away all these fucking notes. Yes. Let the universe guide you a little bit. Like I'm doing right now. freaking don't be afraid to just like take the universe by the hand and be like, all right, I'm relinquishing control. Like, I don't need to be a control freak. I don't need to be in control of specific outcomes or specific whatever. It is what it is, and I'm going to flow with it. With every circumstance thrown at me, that's what I'm working with. What is in my like control to change or to accept or whatever, you know? I mean, there's no fucking reason that we should be fighting the universe so fucking hard on things. But it's an animal in us, right? That's where the ego comes from, because we have so much animal in us. And it's like, I don't know, the idea of transcending your animal brain is really fucking hard, because then you have to resist the animal instincts, right? What are animal instincts, you ask? Fighting, fucking, flighting. You know? I know. I'm just playing with words, okay? But you know what I mean. It's basically just, we have these like basic where we're like, we need to eat, we need to take care of urges, right? That's the human mind. But then the soul is like, deeper purpose, help others, and then our animal side is like, no, let's help ourselves, let's be self-centered, let's be self-preserving, and then that sets us up for failure, because those survival instincts were designed or adapted, mutated, whatever, during a time where that was necessary, right? And now we live in a time where that shit is counterintuitive to our success, because that's not adapting with newer circumstances. That's using an old mindset for new circumstances, and that just won't help, you know? They want different outcomes. You have to do different things. You know, if you just keep doing the same goddamn thing, shit ain't gonna change. And if you want the world to be better, stop fucking resisting it. Stop resisting your destiny. Because the second you stop resisting your destiny, that's when you find peace. That's when you have contentment. That's when you're like, shit's okay, you know? Because it's our resistance that creates this inner turmoil, this panic mode, this, oh my God, why am I not having more, doing more, experiencing more, whatever. Why do you need more? What do you already have that you have taken for granted and not appreciating? You know, what else have you been presented with that you had no gratitude for? And then, you know, and you still expect more. Like, the universe is like, first say thank you for the last few hundred gifts I gave you, and then we'll start talking about more. But also, put in your fucking work, you know? If you want something, put in the work for it. Because you're putting in the work for your failure. You're setting up for that failure, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna stop ranting, and I'm gonna go back to my tarot readings. I just wanted to have a moment with you to kind of like tell you, if it doesn't flow, let it go. There's no forcing round pegs into fucking square holes anymore. Like, we need to stop resisting our nature, our real nature, the nature of most of us. Like, and by that I mean, like, most of us, 99.9 to the power of 9. I don't know, fucking, I don't know, 99% of us, almost a full 100% of us is energy, right? And then, like, a very microscopic aspect of us is the matter that is being held together by this energetic glue that we call electron repulsion. That's the very same, like, energy that stops us from melting into the things that we touch, right? So I can hold something and my hand doesn't fuse together because there's an atomic distance between me and this deck, right? So the thing that holds us together is the thing that holds us apart at the same fucking time. And I don't know, I just wanted to go on a little rant
and I'm gonna keep going if you let me. But anyway, I will meet you on the next one, guys. Namaste. I love you all. Have a good one.